Okay. Okay. Cool. Now you can go. Okay. Please put some comments and make some noise for our NCs. Thank you to Mr. Rosewood, and welcome to our new president, Mr. Beaushort. Wow, I'm so excited to be with you today, and so happy to be able to take the challenge to make a training in English. So thank you, World Venture, and to all the leaders for this challenge which make us progress day after day. My name is Gianni Biso, and I'm married to my wife, Clarice. We have two beautiful boys. I have a full-time job, and we have two businesses with my wife. And as you can hear, I learn English. So I have my note just right here. Thank you for giving me the chance to train you today. On my island of 300,000 inhabitants, there are 3 IMDs, and I'm the last to have achieved this position 1 year ago. I live in New Caledonia in the South Pacific Ocean, and I start my adventure in our company 4 years ago. I had more activity, several activity, more occupation, one child, and the most importantly, I have no experience in network marketing. During my first year, I didn't use any of the tools we just saw for the presentation and after the invitation, and I had no result. So thank you, Dennis, and after Chrysanthos for this great advice. You know, I'm a huge fan for the work and all the advice of these two leaders can share on our Instagram. Today, I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite skills, the closing. It's become after the presentation. And as we could see with Dennis, the best way to present is to present. The best way to present is to present. It doesn't matter where or when. It doesn't matter if you are giving a presentation in a house. It doesn't matter if you are giving a presentation in a hotel. It doesn't matter if you give a presentation on a beach. It's not important if you are giving a presentation in a car. You just have to present. You just have to talk and give the information. It doesn't really matter where you do the presentation. And after the presentation, we have the closing. If you do the invitation, if you do the presentation in the right way, and you don't do the closing, you work for free. Do you like work for free? Tell me on the chat, do you like work for free? Yes or no? Nobody likes work for free, right? So the closing is when you are going to make the money, the moment you are going to pay. Most of you are afraid to close. But no, when I started, it was the same for me. I was afraid. I was always afraid of being rejected. But now it was become a game. If your goal is to be an IMD, an international marketing director, ask an IMD, how many times has it been rejected? Just before start, we will talk about statistics. The green people will love it. Okay. Yes, okay. I'm blue, but if you want to be an IMD, you need become all the colors, okay? The statistic from World Venture say that an IMD was an average of 55 direct. To do this, you are going to have to create a list of 824 people to invite. the figure show that only the half of the people will come to your presentation. After the presentation, 80% will stay until the closing. That makes 330 people to close. 20% will tell you yes, and the rest will tell you no. And look at that again. It's clear. We really don't have all the same goals, but look how closing is important. When you start your journey in World Venture and you want to move to the next rank, the statistics tell us that you have to do 5 closing per day for 10 days to have 1 registration per day. If you want to achieve marketing director in less than a year, you need to do 25 closing for your team per month. And to achieve IMD in 2 years, you will need to do the same. You will have to overcome your fear, because now you understand that the closing is an important part of your business. During a training at View with our director of training, Mr. Marc Cassetta, he told us to imagine the presentation as a boxing match. And it's true, during this presentation, when we talk about all the benefits of the company in traveling or in business, we are the ones who give punch. But when you get to the closing, you realize that the guest can give punch too. And when you get your first objection, you think yourself, oh, what is that? It can kick too. So you have to practice making fighting fun and competitive. And like any games, when you know the rules, it's immediately become fun. There are rules to follow to make closing. There are 6 rules that my mentors, IMD Stavros Zenonos and IMD George Georgiou from Cyprus, teach me. Rule number 1, ask the right question at the right time. Why people don't start with you? What are the reasons? The reason number 1, it's because you don't ask them. 80% of people don't join your team because you didn't ask them. You have to do the right thing to have the right results. If you do the right thing at the right time, you will get paid. I told you, you're gonna do the right thing at the right time. So you have to ask the right question at the right time. And what is the correct question? Are you ready to get started? And I will tell you when to ask the right question. Rule number 2, have the right attitude. People buy more out of emotion than logic. You want people to follow you after this presentation. If you are nervous, people will smell it like a dog smells fear. When the presentation is over, you ask the right question. You must be excited. You must be enthusiastic, smiling, and especially after asking your question, You must shut up and expect the person answer like that. Are you ready to get started? Or ready to start, okay? Like that. Rule number 3. Okay, always be agreement and gentle. We hate it. Do you know how much time we spend with the member who has shutting down someone, and all he did was humiliate his prospect? Mr. Mark Asseta, Monsieur Mark Asseta, told something very powerful. People will follow you for 2 reasons. Because they love you, or they want to be like you. Who want to follow someone who humiliates people? So maybe there are some who like that, but most of people will run away. You have to be kid to people. They will follow you because you speak from the heart and with respect. Depending on what you say, people can feel immediate. Speak from the heart and people will follow you. Rule number 4, listen and answer the question. Closing is the moment when people choose their direction. An objection is not a no. It just means no. Now give me more information. The closing is the moment when you will be able to make them make a decision with the information you will have collected. It's important to listen because it's in your answer that we will be able to add a maximum value to our company, World Ventures, and our project, the Dream Trips. Rule number 5, know the result you want. It's really important. If you don't know what you want before the closing, you will be losing your time. One of my mentors, IMD Giorgio, will tell you when you have a person in front of you, what do you want? Inspire them or take the money? You want to take the money, right? You must not feel afraid. You have a valuable product and they have money. They have 2 options, yes or no. All you have to do is lead them to the answer you want, yes or no. Most of you are losing your time standing in front of them, trying to inspire them, show them how good you are, or how many trips you have taken. Believe me, they don't care. You have to be focused on the result. You have to be focused on the result you want to achieve. I have a story for these rules, and I remember in my team, I can't remember if he was a member that we had just signed up, but I remember this member, he was a very motivated person. And he always invited person, and for a month he come to the presentation with the person, and after a month, he called me to tell me he was discouraged, low, because people didn't want to get started with him. So he got my attention, and I look at his attitude, and I tell him, okay, come to the next presentation with your guest. And the next presentation comes up, and he comes with a guest. And I stand in a corner on the room, and I watch him. And after the presentation, I see him, and he starts talking with the prospect, and he talking. And after maybe 20 minutes, I arrived next to him. I apologize, and I introduce myself to his guest, and I say him, hi, my name is Gianni. So did you like the presentation? And he say me, oh yes. And I say him, are you ready to get started? And he say me, oh yes. And we signed up the new member. So before we left the room, my friend came to see me, and he say me, how did you do it? And I say, I just asked him if he was ready to start. Most of you, when the travel party is over, you will talk about travel, go take a drink, smoking, but you are not focusing on the closing, on the signatures. At the end of the presentation, the momentum is height. It was itis, like that, itis, big momentum. And you must ask the question, are you ready to start? Rule number 6, know to who you give your time. Sometimes you just sit and lose your time signing someone who is not interested and has another thing to do. You have negative people, and you try to convince them and answer their objection. Why do you want these people? And you know they're not gonna sign. Why you are losing your time? Imagine, he is negative and he signs. You know that tomorrow he will come back with objection. You need to know who you are giving your time, and ask yourself if you really want someone negative in your team. Dennis tells something good and interesting. Some will, some not. So what? If you see it's negative, don't lose your time. Go, cut it short, and say, cool, thank you for coming. We need to know who to give your time to. Now we will see how it can be done in practice. Okay, good. I need the timer. Before the presentation, we will have a minor agreement with my guest. I will have a minor agreement with my guest. Minor agreement is very important. We will start the closing before the presentation. it's a good time to start the closing before the presentation, not after the presentation, but before the presentation. You can ask a few questions where you will have the correct answer. And we will call this minor agreements. That is having positive responses that will open the mindset of your guest and get you in a position frame of mind for the presentation. Let me give you some two examples. Okay. You can say, hey, Jet, I'm going to tell you about an idea, but let me ask you a question. Do you like travel? They will answer yes or no. But the majority of people will answer you yes. Or you can say, what would you say if I told you about a way to travel the world with the best prices guaranteed and the best experience? Would you like it? Yes or no? Or you can ask, hey, Madeline, what would you say if I show you a way to give you extra money? Would you be interested or not? There are minor agreements before the presentation. You can use some questions that will help you to open your guest mindset. Now I'm going to share my why. Do you know that people buy the why, but they never buy the what? People buy the why, but they never buy the what. They don't care what it is, but they care about why he should behave it or why should he do it. Don't try to show the what, but make it feel the why. So share your why you are doing it. So before the presentation, I will show my why. I can say, hey, Ross, thank you for coming today. You are going to like what you are going to see, but I would like like you pay attention because it's something that I do because, and you say your why. Whatever your why, make extra money, travel the world, inspire people, help people, whatever it is, help your family, your child, it's okay. You just have to share it. And now we go to the next step after the presentation. When the presentation is finished, I have to do two things. Number one thing, I must ask the right question. When the presentation is over now, it's a good time to ask the right question. And what is the correct question? I will give you two examples. You can ask, hey, George, as an idea, do you like it? There are two possibilities as well. Yes or no. Hey, George, as an idea, do you like it? Yes or no. If he say no, I say him, okay, George, I appreciate that. You took the time. It may not be the time yet. Thank you for coming. Will you allow me to call you back in a week for the next presentation? I don't insist. I don't say anything else. If the answer is no, I thank him for coming. But if you have followed the step correctly, out of 10 people, 2 will say no, maybe less. But most people will tell you, yes, I like the idea. Now, when my guests say yes, what I'm going to do. When my guests tell me yes, I'm going to tell him. No, I'm not going to tell him. I'm not going to tell him. If my guests say yes, I'm not going to tell him, okay, wait, I'm going to show you something else. There are people who do that. Our guests say, yes, I like the idea. It's time for you to ask him the right question. And there is only one question for the closing, only one. And it is, are you ready to get started? As from the answer to the question, do you like the idea, is yes. Now it's not the time to talk about something else, to go out, to go to smoke. It's not the time to go take a drink. It's not the time to pick up your phone. It's not the time to post something on Instagram or Facebook. It's not the time to think about another thing. When the answer is yes, now it's time to ask the right question. Are you ready to get started? You know, if my guest had any question or objection, he would have to tell me. I must not create a new question. When the presentation is over and you don't ask the right question, you don't believe, or you don't are 100% uncomfortable about the company, or you want to create a new question. When the guest answers you, I like the idea, now it's time to tell them, no, it's not time to tell them, wait, I will show my back office, wait, I will show you some dream trips. No. You say yes, you have to sign up, you have to register it now. You need to make the inscription. If it's no, they will usually give you the reason. They will tell you no because at this point, whatever he tell you, or what he think, I agree with him. For example, are you ready to get started? No, I don't have money. I know that. That is why I called you, because you need to extra money. Or no, I have too much money. I know that. That is why I calling you, because you know how to make money. or no, I don't have time. I don't have time. I know that. That is why I calling you, because you can make time for yourself. Or no, I have too much time. I know that. That is why I calling you, because you have a lot of time to do it. And the last, no, I don't have a lot of friends. I know that. That is why I calling you, because you can call a lot of people. Whatever you say, that is why I'm calling him. World Venture is for everyone. So the first step is to agree with him, and we will respond to the objection. Do not forget, people will follow you because they love you or because they want to be like you. Now a few objections. Now a few objections that the most people have. I'm going to share with you. Some example of discussion because I can make role playing with people. and you can take some screenshot. Okay, that is the objection for no, I want to think about it, and you can respond this text. It's some example. Okay, let me know when you make your screenshot in the chat. I give you maybe 20 seconds for make the screenshot for this objection. Part 2, because this objection you can a lot of people have this objection. After you have objection, no, I don't have time, and you can make this response, and you always finish with the right question. Are you ready to start? Are you ready to get started? Let me know if you have the time to make your screenshot. And the last. And the last. I love this one. Objection with the COVID. A lot of people now have this objection. No, because you know the COVID crisis, nanani, blah, 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 nanana. And I say that I totally agree with you. We have to be careful what we do during the crisis, because any crisis is temporary. So what do you think people are going to want to do after being locked up for weeks or months? They are going to want to travel, no? Yes or no? Yes. So, you know what that means? It means that for the first time in a generation, we know exactly which industry is going to explode. So the real deal is this. Today, we have the opportunity to invest our effort in a travel and tourist sector, which will explode after the crisis. It's like we already have the lottery numbers. If you have the lottery numbers, would you go to play the lottery? Yes. So, are you ready to get started? That is my answer. People, thank you a lot. Thank you a lot. It's all for me. Thank you for listening to me. I can't wait to see you in training, in physical training or in dream trip. I just stop my share. Hop. Comment je fais ça? Non, arrêtez. Echo. Thank you for all. It's all for me. Bye-bye. I am Gianni Biso from New Caledonia in the South Pacific. Bye-bye.